Well, hi, it's Jennifer. Welcome to my channel. This is video 5 in a series where I am sharing my experiences using one or more of the glucose lowering hacks by author and biochemist Jessie Inchauspe. She wrote Glucose Revolution. She wrote The Glucose Goddess Method. I have been working out of both of those books. I put myself on a personal 13-week challenge. I have blood work at the end of May 2025, depending on whenever you watch this, because in November of 2024, it was my annual physical. I had blood work done and I had the highest fasting glucose levels to date over a 5-year period. And my A1C numbers had me back in the pre-diabetic pool. I have been yo-yoing in and out of the pre-diabetic pool for 5 years. I've tried different things that I thought were going to lead to long-term success. But as I've been going through this journey, I'm realizing that there was so much I did not understand about sugar and the way that my body has been responding. A lot of it could be due to perimenopause and now the menopausal years. Is it genetics? Is it a combination? But I have been offered medication, certainly as a way to manage my blood sugar levels. I've asked my family practice doctor to let me try to implement these hacks and see if I can be successful. I would love to be able to find something that would allow me to manage my A1C and blood sugars and get them, first of all, into a healthy level to be, what is it called? I've heard a lot of doctors say metabolically flexible. Health is very important to me. When I was reflecting back over the past 5 to 10 years in particularly, which is honestly right around my perimenopausal time when I really began to notice a lot of changes in my body, health has always been one of the categories when I do the Wheel of Life. And if you're not familiar with it, you can Google it. There's variations between one Wheel of Life example and another, but basically it is categories of life in pie shapes in a circle. You rank them on a scale of 1 being you're not happy at all, 10 being you are perfectly happy. How do you rank each category? Like, how do you rank your career? How do you rank your spiritual life? How do you rank your health? How do you rank your finances, your social environment, the fun category, your creative, your romantic life? And you rank those on that scale of 1 to 10. Usually you'll have your areas that are very high up on the scale that you're very happy with. Then you'll have the ones that are in the middle, and then you'll have those ones that are low. For me, health has always been a category that I have ranked not really, really low, but definitely middle to low. I've not been as happy because of all the changes that my body has gone through. And I've struggled with increasing weight over the years as my hormones have dropped. I have these blood sugar issues. I have these A1C issues. I used to think I could outwork it. I could work it out, like I could work out enough to help my body shed weight, but I've learned that it is not going to be on my treadmill that is going to make the difference. It's going to be in my kitchen. Now, that actually gets me to this point right now. I'm still getting ready for this video, but I want to try one of the recipes in Jessie's book, The Glucose Goddess Method. It is what she called an ice cream. It is Greek yogurt, a nut butter, and frozen berries. It was in her savory breakfast section. I've been wanting to try it. I've been working on, through this series, my savory breakfasts and my vinegar drinks. Also, I had a challenge. In fact, I'll put a picture or a little video. I think I did a picture. When I did last week's video, I tried sparkling water with vinegar, although I think I did apple cider vinegar with some lemon in a glass, and that was one of the things that Jessie suggested for the vinegar hack, which the vinegar hack, you take 1 tablespoon of vinegar, dilute it, and take it within a 20-minute window when you're going to eat, Or for some people, you could have it as a vinaigrette with a veggie starter. A veggie starter is a hack. If you use the vinegar hack after your meal, it will still help lower your glucose spike, but not nearly enough as if you had it before. When I tried the vinegar drink in sparkling water, because I'm kind of a sparkling water nerd, now that has been a change I'll have to talk about in a different video. Throughout, like I said, this wheel of life, I've been working on my health now for a while, especially in my 40s and 50s. I'm about to be 54 in April. One of the changes I made was switching to a sparkling water drink, and I did that 2 years ago. And I have found a brand that I enjoy. I like the Waterloo brand of sparkling waters. They're 0 sugar, but the flavors are really nice. Or I will take the Pellegrino and I will squeeze in, this has been in the fridge, I'll cut open and I'll use it and I'll save it in the fridge. So I'm squeezing in this not lime juice, I'm squeezing in the lemon juice right now for flavor. I tried it with the apple cider vinegar and I didn't love it. Later on, I was like, you know what? Why don't I try it with white distilled vinegar? And like I was saying in last week's video too, you want to make sure whatever vinegar you use, it is 5% acetic acid only. Don't have the 6%, which I guess cleaning vinegar is 6% acetic acid. Well, when I did the apple cider vinegar, I wasn't a lover. And then I thought, why don't I try it with the plain? And you know what? It's not so bad after all. I have been playing around with this and using this drink before several of my dinners over the past week. I found using the white vinegar, I think lime tastes better than lemon, actually, now that I think. I've been using lime all week. But this is a way that you can do it. You can get plain sparkling water and then you sip it within that 20-minute window before you're about to eat. Now, the meal that we're about to make does have a little sugar in it. It has sugar from the berries that we're going to use, although lower. And also the nut butter. My family is deathly allergic to peanuts and sunflower oil and sunflower butter, also sunflower oil, and even soy nut butter. But we have, except for peanut, there's no peanut, nothing in this house. But in my pantry, I have a couple of different non-anaphylaxis causing nut butters. I love soy nut butter. It is completely peanut free. It's something that now I eat. And now I do actually have a peanut allergy, but I'm not anaphylaxis, at least so far in my lifetime, but I have several children who are. That does have a little sugar in it. So I'm going to sip this while I finish getting ready. All right, I have finished my vinegar drink, so I'm going to get out those ingredients. I'm actually quite hungry, so we're going to make that dish and hopefully it'll be delicious. It seems like it's something, it has all the ingredients of something that would be delicious. It is part of the savory breakfast. And in fact, I'm going to go get my glucose goddess method book. Here is this recipe right here. She says, ice cream for breakfast. Is there really any explanation needed for why this is an amazing way to kickstart the day? This glucose-friendly version of everyone's favorite dessert features Greek yogurt, creamy nut butter, and berries, a delight. How to make. So she says, in a bowl, mix the yogurt and nut butter. So I'm going to need 6 tablespoons of full-fat Greek yogurt, 1 tablespoon of nut butter, which I'm going to use soy, and 1/3 cup of frozen mixed berries. So I'm going to mix the yogurt and nut butter together until smooth, and then stir in the berries and let the mixture settle for 2 to 3 minutes before eating. All right, I'm going to go get ingredients. Here is our 1/3 cup of frozen berries. It's blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries. I've got my nut-free Wow butter. This is a soy nut butter. It's very good. It's a nice option if you're not allergic to soy. And then I've got Greek yogurt. I'm going to scooch us over here and mix this up. Let's see, I'm going to bring this down. I need to get 6 tablespoons of full fat yogurt. I'm just going to kind of not be too perfect with the measurements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, but I will use a spoon to scrape it out. I have become accustomed to Greek yogurt. At first it took me a little while. I think it has a stronger smell and flavor. It does take a little getting used to, but I do enjoy it now. Next is 1 tablespoon of nut butter. Oh, sometimes it's kind of hard to dig in here. All right, I'm going to mix this in here. I want to make sure I get all the goodness out of here. All right, now, okay, I'm going to cap this. The instructions are to stir it together. Here's what it looks like. All right, let's try to give it a stir. I'm really curious how this is going to taste. That is mixed. Now it says stir in the berries. Oh, it smells good. Oh, it smells really, really good. All right, let me go put that in the sink. This is smelling really delicious. Okay, let me mix this up. Then she says to let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes. Let's see. Kind of give that a stir in here. It smells good. Oh, I hope this is yummy. Let's put it in a prettier bowl. Here it is. I'm going to go ahead and let it set up in the refrigerator for a little bit. While that is setting up, I want to share with you some of my takeaways. One of the things I am working on is habit stacking. I'm doing that by having my vinegar drink in the morning when I make my way to that coffee pot right there in the morning. I already have a routine of having my collagen, my coffee, and my vitamins pretty much first thing in the morning. Now what I do is I wait 20 minutes and I have my vinegar drink out. Now before it became a habit, I would take the vinegar bottle out and I would put it by my coffee pot. That way in the morning time, I would be reminded, that's right, I'm working on getting a vinegar drink every day. Now I'm also habit stacking with my meal preparation. I'm cooking dinner in the evening. Now in the evening, I am adding sparkling water, lemon or lime with a vinegar drink while I'm cooking, especially if it's like a taco night or any type of carb or sugary meal, like what I did with the yogurt dish that we have there that has sugar in it. That is a way that I'm habit stacking. Also too, one thing that I'm really working on, so I'm taking my time building these hacks into my life because I want them to become a part of my health regime. I also listened to a phenomenal podcast by Mel Robbins, and I love Mel Robbins. She had Dr. Chatterjee on, and I will link it down below. It was a wonderful podcast. He is a doctor, he has a podcast, he is an author. He was he starred in the British weight loss show called Doctor in the House. I've already watched a couple of episodes, and the whole premise behind that show was that he would move in with people, kind of like when Jessie Inchauspe wrote the Glucose Goddess Method. She wrote that after her first book because people were like, can you come move in and live with me and like teach me how to implement these hacks? Dr. Chatterjee, that whole show was him moving in. I mean, he didn't like really move in. I think he like spent the first night, got to know the family, but then spent a lot of time with them, not just like in and out, say at a doctor's office. He spent time working with the family as part of the show to help them address their health issues. It was a phenomenal interview. I really, really enjoyed it. And I learned who he was, and I've gone on to watch some of those shows. But he has a morning routine because he would say that some of his patients would struggle with certain issues. Now, with this idea of habit stacking, for example, the first hack that I really worked on was the savory breakfast. He had patients who would struggle with their blood sugars, and he talks about this in that interview, where one patient, I can't remember exactly what the health situation was with this particular patient that he was working with. Maybe it was blood sugar issues, probably is what it was if I recollect correctly. Dr. Chatterjee was trying to get him to change his morning routine in the way that he would eat. And this particular patient was really struggling with that. So Dr. Chatterjee said, well, can you do me a favor? When you're cooking your dinner at night, can you just make a double portion? That way then you can have that for breakfast. And for this particular patient, he was like, okay, actually I can do that. That's easy enough. That's a way to habit stack. If you are busy in the mornings and you don't have the luxury of maybe having a slow morning, or where you could take time to really curate a savory breakfast, you could do a lot of the food prep the night before. Or I love that idea of you're already making dinner, so make a double portion and then already have your breakfast prepared. I love that with habit stacking. He also has a 5-minute kitchen routine, he calls it. It's what he teaches his patients. And he does it while his coffee is brewing. While his coffee is doing its magic, he sets a 5-minute timer, and in the kitchen, in his pajamas, he will be doing lunges and tricep dips and like push-ups and a couple of other exercises. I can't remember what they all are. But I was thinking to myself that one habit stack I would like to start working on this week is adding a little 5-minute routine. Now, that's not part of the glucose hacks, but I am also looking to build these healthy hacks throughout my day and make it easy. He suggests doing that because you are then working out your body and working out all your major muscle groups, because not everybody can get to the gym, or maybe you're going to be really busy. That allows you to at least do 5 minutes, because sometimes when we're making changes, it can feel overwhelming. That leads me to today's thought, which came from Christine at From Comfort to Confidence, and I will put her channel name, and I'll also link it down below. Christine has a wonderful, wonderful channel here on YouTube. And in today's video that I was listening to, she was talking about mindset and how we need to make, in order to be successful, to step into the life that we want or to achieve the goal that we want, we have to shift our mindset, because how we experience life is what we focus on. So if I'm focusing on the things I can't do, like for example, the gentleman that was struggling to have a breakfast that would help his blood sugar, well, the mindset shift was, well, just make a double portion of dinner. Or Dr. Chatterjee's morning workout, you know, that 5-minute workout, he teaches his patients, okay, maybe you can't go to the gym, but could you give me 5 minutes? And it's mind shifts like that that help us to accomplish the goals that we want. And when Christine was talking about that today in her video, I thought about my health journey, how I am making these mindset shifts in order to help my body be at its best. That's my goal. I'm still creating leverage by writing in my journal every day, what is my project? Why is it important to me? And what am I going to do today? I'm creating that leverage. Here's another mindset shift that I had this week. I wrote, it's an aha moment. I am somebody, and don't ask me how I'm 54 years old and I just had this mindset aha moment this week. I can't believe that I didn't have this before. You know, it's funny how you can just do things and it's so much a part of you, you don't question whether it's a wise choice or not. My aha moment was this. I'm somebody who is doing these hacks because I'm trying to lower my A1C numbers and my fasting glucose. I would like to become metabolically flexible. I want to have a fantastic metabolic system happening in this body. I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to protect my body from the harmful spikes of blood sugar. But I am currently doing these hacks because I need to lower those levels. And I thought, should I be having sweets? Now, in reading Jessie's book, she says you can have dessert. It's not about counting calories and it's not about cutting out food groups. She talks about working out the order in which you eat. That makes sense if you are probably metabolically sound. Anyway, my aha moment for me was I need to eat less sugar, even if I follow the glucose hack, which is sugar is not a food group. It is for dopamine. And you should not have sugar on an empty stomach because it will spike your glucose levels. You should not have it first thing in the morning. That's why you have a savory breakfast, because your body will absorb the sugar faster, causing greater spikes, which sets you up for a roller coaster throughout the day. It is best to have your dessert after a meal. Food order is really important, and that is good. But I have been indulging. I had this aha moment. We, as a family, my family and I, celebrated 2 birthdays. My daughter and her husband, they have their birthdays 10 days apart. On Friday, when I had that vinegar drink, when we had the taco night, we celebrated their birthday. I made a Rice Krispie treat because, like I said, everybody in my house has allergies. Well, I had this dessert then. And every single day I have had a dessert. My husband and I did a DoorDash, and we ordered from this new restaurant, and I ordered, and it was decadent. It was a berry crumble. It came with a berry ice cream with this raspberry. It wasn't like a drizzle where it was thick like a syrup. It was so good. Also, and I'm going to insert pictures if I can find them. I do have this one for sure. We also ordered, we do tend to order DoorDash a little bit more than probably we should. We ordered from this restaurant that had a new dessert. It was a butterscotch bread pudding creme brulee dessert, and it was so good. Well, then I still have my Hershey Kisses in the fridge. I have treats. And I had this awakening, and I don't even know how it came to me, but I thought to myself, Jennifer, you are trying to lower your blood sugar levels and your A1C, and you are indulging. So I thought, what was I thinking? Like, why did I, that's right. I probably shouldn't be having this many desserts and treats. So this is what I'm going to do. April is quickly coming. My birthday is in April. I am going to allow myself to have sweets on my birthday for sure. I've got a whole plan. I'm going to be talking about that on my channel. But I am also going to pick up dark chocolate. In fact, Christine, who I mentioned earlier, she had to make a lot of health changes. We've chatted about this under her different videos and everything. And she watches my videos and comments, and I watch her content. And so we exchange a lot of information. She eats dark chocolate. She had to make a lot of dietary changes for health as well. That is what I'm going to do. That's going to be my assignment tomorrow, is to go look for a low sugar dark chocolate. I'm going to do some research on it. That way I'm not depriving myself. So if I'm getting a chocolate craving, I can have dark chocolate. And I'm going to budget my treats. I'm not just going to be indulging every single day because, well, I can have dessert after dinner. Well, I'm trying to make a body shift. And once again, that's that mindset shift of, I don't need to have dessert every day. It is a dopamine hit. So how can I make adjustments so I am not indulging in these decadent desserts on a regular basis to help myself? That was my aha moment. This week, I am going to be working on that habit stacking. I'm going to be working on like the 5-minute routine. Now, that's not part of the hacks, but I'm going to still be doing my vinegar drink in the morning, my vinegar drink for dinner. I am continuing to work on my savory breakfast. I'm going to, last week I was going to try to do those pickling recipes in her book, but I just didn't have time. So I've got that on this week's agenda. I also have a Caribbean bean dish that I want to make because beans are a good carb. that you can have because of their fiber and their protein, and they don't spike your blood sugar. I want to make a batch of Caribbean beans so I can have them in the morning with my eggs. I typically have eggs in the morning. Here is one of my egg breakfasts. Something that I like to do every now and then is just get into the fridge and freezer and see what ingredients I need to use up. Now, what I added to this egg stir fry, I'm calling it, is I had in the freezer a package of the fire roasted peppers and onions. I really love to add those sometimes to my egg dishes. I think it adds a nice layer of flavor. I also chopped up fresh sweet onion, and then I sauteed the fire roasted peppers and the onions, and then the fresh onions in a little olive oil. I also had a package of spinach that had one serving left that needed to be used up. Also, something I've been trying is my husband picked up for me is a package of the egg whites. I have been using 3/4 cups of the egg whites, and I also put in here 2 whole eggs. 1 serving of the egg whites from the carton, it was 3 tablespoons, equaled 5 grams of protein. I did 3/4 cups of the egg whites, and in total, that was 20 grams of protein. There was, let's see, what did I say? Oh, I did some math here. There was 12.6 grams of protein in the 2 whole eggs. So in total, that was 32.6 grams of protein from the eggs. Now, also normally I'll put in Parmesan cheese, but I had a little bit of leftover sharp cheddar cheese, about 1/8 of a cup from the taco night on Friday night. I added in 1/4 cup of the Parmesan cheese to equal that 1/4 cup serving, which typically for cheeses is about 9 grams of protein per 1/4 cup. So in total, this breakfast protein was roughly 41.6 grams of protein. So I used up that little bit of cheese. I used up onion. Also, that sweet onion was also part of our taco night. I had it in the fridge and am just working on cutting into it. It was a rather large onion, and adding it to my eggs. Every once in a while, I'll do this style where I'll mix it up. Now, what I have also decided to do, because I had this aha revelation about the desserts, is I also thought, you know what, why don't I not have any starch or sugar in the morning? Now, Jessie does say in her book that you absolutely can have sugar in the form of whole fruit with your breakfast, or you can have starch also for flavor. Well, since I am trying to get my blood sugars down, it makes sense to have a purely fiber, protein, fat breakfast to help with that. So that's also something I'm going to start doing. Now, this morning I woke up, I had my coffee, my collagen, my vitamins. I've already had my vinegar drink. I am going to go repeat this meal as of the time of this recording, which is the day after that I made this video. I found this breakfast to be very satisfying. Once again, the pillars of the savory breakfast are built on protein, fat, fiber, and then the sugar in the form of fruit or carbs. And before, I used to mix in, when I would do this type of dish, I would put in 1/2 cup of brown jasmine rice, but I took that out. Like I was mentioning, I'm making that change. And this breakfast kept me full for the 4 hours. It was very, very satisfying. Also, another thing I thought that I would do is, since I've always honestly had the habit of having something sweet after dinner, I thought, why don't I try to have sugar in the form of fruit after a full meal? And that's what I did with last night's meal. I had a salmon fillet over rice. It was very satisfying, very delicious. And then I just picked up, you can see in the bowls, I've got lemons and cuties. The cuties were absolutely delicious. I had my salmon meal over rice, and then I finished it off with 2 of the cuties, so sugar in the form of fruit. It was very delicious and very satisfying. And I brewed a cup of coffee to go with this breakfast, and I had my sparkling water with lemon in there for the vitamin C, which was very, very delicious. So I will take a bite of this. I'm gonna say goodbye to you now because I don't know how well I'll be able to talk, but I will take a bite and let you know how it tastes. Let's see. Okay. All right, hold on here. Let me get a different spoon because this one's been sitting in here for a while and it's a little bit covered with the Greek yogurt. So here's what it looks like. It's not the most pretty, but it looks very incorporated. Let's see. Oh, that's very good. You know, Greek yogurt has a tang. If you've ever had, like if you've had regular yogurt and then you go to Greek yogurt, it's got a kazing, it's got a tang. The nut butter really softens that. All right. That's the winner. I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.